What's good everyone, it's Zigzag here. Welcome to another episode on GeoGuessr's hardest mode, 10-second, no moving, panning, or zooming on the world map. So as you'll have seen from the title, at the end of today's video, we're going to get to some of the best games I've ever played in my life. Basically, the other day I did a 4-hour stream over on my Twitch in the description below. But basically, I was straight grinding, and I got 4 really crazy 24,000 plus games, all of which could have turned into world record, honestly. So it's definitely worth sticking around to the end of the video to see those. I highly recommend it. But in the meantime, we're going to do some attempts live and see if we can pull it. Imagine if we could pull the world record right now. So that's what we're going to go for here. No shame if we have some bad rounds, that's okay, but we have to lock in for the good opportunities. So let's see what we get here today. Starting off with a Russia. How very typical and how very difficult. Although I actually think this might be Ukraine. So I'm going to try Ukraine. It's kind of more, forgiving if we're right. And it was just central Ukraine there. So obviously not a score we can continue on. In fact, you basically have to get the city 5 times in a row, so that is the challenge. Well, this is good. We have the 8 here in Mexico. I'm not really sure what that is. I actually don't really have time here. I don't see the 8 anywhere, so we're just going to go Veracruz, and it was over here. Interesting. Yeah, basically, it's a really hard world record to get. You need the right luck, and you need the right skill, and I hope I can combine that. This is a really interesting round. I think it's just in Gaborone. These big apartment buildings, very atypical for Eswatini, for Botswana, and so I feel like that could only really be inside the capital here. So a very interesting round, and obviously a fantastic start. So let's see, we get on round number 2 here. Okay, this is Russia. We have to go for the right city here. Feels a little like southern. I could actually just go Moscow here. I feel like this could be outskirts of Moscow easily. And it was indeed all the way over here. But really, urban Russia, as any good Russia player will tell you as well, is very, very difficult. So obviously that's a bit of a restart there. This is an interesting green shield. Not really sure where you'd find it, but the landscape feels quite Spanish, so we'll just go here. And it was southern Spain, but obviously very far from where we needed to be, unfortunately. That's okay. Okay, I want to get next round here. Okay, this is looking like Thailand. Could be Philippines as well, I suppose, but kind of looked like we were driving right hand side of the road. I'm going to reset. I think it was actually Philippines, and the chances of us getting very close are quite low. I didn't really want to embarrass myself there. Okay, this is Australia. Is it Sydney, Adelaide, or Melbourne? It kind of looks like Adelaide, but those hills are south, so I think I got to try Sydney here. Didn't actually get to see the plates, and it was Melbourne instead. Okay. I mean, hills south wouldn't really be too typical for Adelaide, but both Melbourne and Sydney can have it. Probably Sydney has more of it, but that's why I wanted to try it, but ultimately, yeah, it was unfortunate that we didn't get it there. This is probably Mexico. Again, it's kind of an instant reset. As much as I'd like to, showcase myself going for those cracked, really big countries, ultimately we do kind of want to be narrowing down on those small ones more so. Here we have the ocean a little bit, so I will try it out here in southern Philippines. Maybe something like this could work. We'll see. Was actually on later there, so yeah, definitely makes sense. We clicked on one of the yellow roads there, which should be a highway. That was a white road. Makes more sense, to be honest. This, is it Malaysia or Indonesia? I feel like this is Indonesia. I have no idea where. I even thought of like these islands up here, maybe. It is those islands up there. Okay, well, had I had 5 more seconds, probably would have gone there, but that's kind of the way it goes when you have little time to think. Anyway, this one's going to be Kenya. And there are a few places it could be, but I think Nairobi is probably the best guess here. So I'll just go for Nairobi, and it was actually up in this town here. A fairly big town, actually, and we miss it. So there you go, guys. It's kind of like 1 in every 10 rounds, 1 in every 15 rounds. That's actually, what's this say, York? Does it say York? I actually don't know where York is, to be honest with you. I thought it was south, right? But I can't remember. No, it's not. Okay, guys, sorry for the oh, there it is. Okay. Sorry for the embarrassing UK knowledge. It's really not very good on my end. So, yeah, sorry, all the British viewers. Okay, this is Brazil. Probably could have gotten close, but probably couldn't have gotten close enough. So that's really the philosophy with Brazil and stuff like that. This is actually South Africa, but looking very Australian. And it shouldn't be too far from the capital. I'm just going to go like here or something, and it was a bit further south instead. That is okay, but not close enough. Okay, let's lock in here, guys. The opportunities, they're few and far between, but they're super exciting when they come about, and so yeah, we just have to take them. Thailand is too hard. Thailand is just too hard to continue on round 1. Well, this is Spain, and the brick kind of feels a bit further north, but it shouldn't be too far north. So I'm just going to go in this town here. Let's try it. It was, yeah, a bit further north there. Got the right state, I think, or the right, what do they call it in, it's like, independent area, or whatever it's called. No, that's not correct. These little bollards here, I think that's meant to be like a Lampung thing, so I'll go in Lampung here. We'll give it a go. Is it going to be true? No, it's near Jemba there. Interesting. So, yeah, I mean, guys, yeah, I can't wait to show you these games. You have to stick around for the end of the video to see these games. Also, give the video a like if you're enjoying so far. And this is going to be somewhere in Greece, and I'm not sure where, but I'll just kind of click over here. We'll try it. I was further towards Athens there. Definitely Greece is a country you can continue on this mode, but it's by no means easy. This feels like a New Brunswick to me. No, actually Nova Scotia to me. Feels a bit further north. Let's go here. And, okay, it was actually all the way north in Nova Scotia. Normally that area is a bit hillier, but obviously NMPZ, you can't really get a full sense for the landscape, so don't really blame myself. This is Peru, and it's probably not Lima, but I'm going to try. It's one of these west cities. They're further north. It was the next one up, unfortunately. Am I really going to go there, though? Probably not. I mean, maybe it didn't have capital city vibes, but I feel like you kind of have to try on this mode. This is Newfoundland. Chances we get it correct are very low, but let's try and gander here. And it was all the way down southwest there. I don't know, just vibes on the Newfie there, and also wooden posts are quite common there as well, I feel. Anyway, this is Brazil. We skip it. Probably Maranhão or something like that, but again, it's not really worth guessing. Okay, this is maybe doable. It's Cambodia. I think I would maybe just try Phnom Penh here. I think that's fine. It was on the outskirts. We can continue on with a 55 kilometer guess. That's continuable. Here we have some, what is it, like Belgian architecture? We don't have Belgian plates. I still got to try Belgium here. I'm not really sure where it's going to be. Just Brussels should work. Yeah, that's another good guess. So we could get in world record pace here if the next three are really nice. We'll see. Next one here is gonna be in Sri Lanka, I can only assume, and I'm not sure where. Unless this was, surely this is not, yeah, I think I'm correct. Surely it's correct. Okay, it wasn't. That really felt like low cam, and then I saw the flag in the background. I was like, that is not a damn Sri Lankan flag. To be fair though, are we ever getting that round? Probably not. Let's see what we would have had otherwise. This is a bit of a northern Chile stuff, I would say, and like Rica or something like that on the river here, maybe. And it was a little bit further south. Okay, quite a bit further south indeed. So wouldn't have been too much good anyway, that seed. Okay, next round here. We're going to be in Senegal. And is it going to be the capital or is it going to be further north? I'm going to try the capital here. We'll see. It was the capital. Very good start. Obviously, anything sub 10 kilometers is just beautiful. Okay, next one here. Ooh, going to be Indo. I don't see myself getting close here, guys. Maybe just go Jakarta. Maybe just go Jakarta here. Let's see it. And it was all the way over here on Lombok. Interesting. I knew the pole was strange, but I had no idea where to place it in my head. So yeah, it was always going to be difficult. This looks like the Netherlands, and it's maybe a bit further south here. I don't know. Just gives me a bit of a south vibe, so I'll try that. And it was indeed a good guess. So that's 35 kilometers away. Very nice. Next one here, US, Canada kind of thing. No idea really what the best guess for this is, but I might try Wisconsin. No, I don't think it's Wisconsin, but we'll try. No, it was North Carolina. Okay, interesting. I definitely still thought it was northern. I even thought Canada was possible, but there you go. Sometimes you are wrong, and that was one of those times. Okay, yeah, just Turkey, probably worth skipping here. Don't really think I got enough of a vibe there, and obviously Turkey being pretty big is pretty rough. Okay, this is Kyrgyzstan, and it's wintry, and there are mountains both sides here. I don't really know what I think of this, guys, so I'm just going to go, like, on the Talas Road here. We'll try it. Okay, that was good. That was good. A bit of Kyrgyzstan practice recently paid off. I know that kind of area is pretty snowy. Probably could have clicked closer as well, but that's okay. This is difficult. It should be, like, Finland, but it has to be pretty north if it is as well. I guess I'll just like try somewhere up here. I don't know. We'll try this. It was much further south. I don't know. Those trees were really thin, but sometimes they're very deceptive in Finland. I don't know why. But, yeah. Okay, let's try Finland again here. This time I would click middle of the center of there. And this time it was north. Okay. Well, that was two good guesses to prove how hard Finland is. Or how much of my, how much of a skill issue I have. Okay, this feels like a maybe western North Macedonia to me. So I'm going to click here. We'll try it out. See if it's correct. It was eastern instead. That's unfortunate. I was just looking at that road before I started this video. I'm not even joking. So, goes to show that a lot of practice sometimes doesn't pay off. This one, I don't know, actually. It looks like a Victorian number plate, but it feels like, well, I guess we'll just click near Melbourne, I guess. It was Canberra. Okay, that actually was so gettable. Man, that was so gettable. I just didn't think of it. Okay, next one here. Low cam in Japan. And do we do much here? I don't think we can really get this, but I'll try outside Osaka. That doesn't feel good to me though, and it wasn't at all. That's why it felt like Taiwan, but obviously with low cam. Okay, makes sense. Next one here, we are in Sabah, and we have a lot of palm plantation. It could be anywhere on the west here. I'm gonna try like here maybe. No idea if this will be good or not. It was just on this road instead. Obviously, a good region guess for the country of Malaysia, but no points. This is interesting. I thought of West Coast here, actually. I almost want to try in, like, Seattle, but it could even be Vancouver. I just think it's west, though. And it was east. Okay. Well, we'll go for a few more attempts here. Obviously, we had some nice rounds here. Nothing we could really string together just yet, though. This feels like Java, but I have no idea where. And so why don't we try clicking on Java? Let's go Surabaya. And it was actually all the way on central Sulawesi. We saw it on like a tiled roof there, which is quite uncommon in central Sulawesi. So a bit of a hard round, I would say. This is generic Japan, and I feel like you could even go maybe south here. It was pretty south, so it's a good guess, but obviously no cigar. Let's head over to a few more here. This one's going to be Czechoslovakia. Obviously, guys, you have to stick around for this next part of the video. It's actually crazy stuff. Let's go here. It was a good guess, and we can continue on just for fun. This is hard, very hard round. Maybe Hungary could work. Or maybe, I don't really know. Hungary or Czechia? Maybe Czechia again, actually. Okay, it was actually Kaliningrad. Makes a lot of sense, but not really something I thought of in the limited time. This is Bhutan, and do you go capital city here? I feel like this one's more of a middle click for me. So let's go in Trongsa and see if that's correct or not. I got this. I know I said that, but I got a south vibe the longer I looked at it. Yeah, ultimately I'm not the best at, rural. Okay, that was bad. At rural Bhutan anyway, or even urban Bhutan for that matter. Okay. Next round here, Japan feels kind of northern. These roofs almost feel quite northern, don't they? So I will try Hokkaido here. Not at all sure about that, but we'll just go Sapporo here to try it. And it was southern Japan. Wow. A very strange feeling at southern Japan. I guess it was just the fact it was so flat, but even the architecture felt strange to me. This is Russia, and I won't guess it because I'm not quite... It's a bit of a skill issue. Not quite good enough at Russia just yet. This is going to be... what is that, bollard? I mean, the short dashes should make us in Sweden, and I might guess up here on the border or something like that. I don't know. Let's just give it a go. And it wasn't on the border at all. Okay, like 2 more rounds here. Let's just play. Let's just like go until we get another nice start. This feels like Oslo, so I hope we can get our good guess here, because I would just guess Oslo here. That's great. Okay, so from now on, this is the last seed of the game. This is Alice Springs. Okay, turning into 2 nice guesses in a row. If I can find the city, then we're good. And yeah, this is just going to be here. So that's a really nice start, obviously. 1.3 kilometers away. Okay, guys, hold your horses. This could be good. We'll see what happens. Let's antenna car here. Don't really get it here, unfortunately. We'll go like, I don't know, Montenegro or something. Ooh. It's actually going to be Slovenia there. Actually, that was Italy. Oh my goodness. That is one of the least Italian-looking Italys you'll ever see in your life. And it makes sense, because we are right on the border with Yugoslavia there. So let's see what we would have had we nailed that round. This one is like Tucson or like, I don't know. I might try that. I might try Tucson, Albuquerque, something here. Okay. Well, it was Las Vegas. Actually gettable, but didn't think of it. And the last one here is France. So he probably would have died on this one anyway. And I have no idea where it's going to be. Maybe a bit like in here, Dijon, like one of these cities here or something like that. Let's try it. And it was totally wrong. Okay, so even with a nice round 3 and 4, we would have still died. But it goes to show how difficult this is. And now, guys, even though you've seen a bit of a poor display here, let's go ahead and watch some of the highlights from here. Some of these games are pretty crazy. So we start off with the least of the games. But yeah, first round here, we have the Czechoslovak bollards. We have the Czechoslovak guardrail, so it's a matter of picking the right country here. Now, yeah, it's kind of like a bit more of a forested and hilly type of round. We also kind of see like a bigger hill in the background here, so let's see what we get here. And I go for Slovakia for that reason, which is just the more hilly country. And it was actually the worst guess of the lot there. That was 4.8k, which doesn't really put you on world record pace. I don't really know why I continued, but obviously what happened after that is pretty nice. So let's see what happens round 2 here. I just immediately get into the map here, but we have the yellow outer lines and that kind of Irish architecture in the background here. Just go straight near Galway with that kind of hilly and kind of coastal looking vibe there. That's going to be a 4,900. I was flying through this seed because I knew it wouldn't be world record based on those first 2 rounds. So anyway, next one here, we have like a kind of a flat rolling landscape. Well, at least flat for Switzerland. We know it's Switzerland because there's super massive blur here. And I go straight in for the eastern side of the country here near Zurich, and it ends up being all the way north on the touching Germany right there, near Constance. And yeah, it's obviously a nice score there. Skipped forward before I even saw the score. But the next one here was San Marino. San Marino is very distinctive because they have bollards everywhere on the side of the road, and it's always in Generation 2, or at least like 99% of the time it's Generation 2 camera. So yeah, it makes life nice and easy heading into here and just slamming it in with 5 seconds to remain. Yeah, just really quick rounds there. And the last one here. So obviously you can see I can still get second place here if I get a perfect score on the leaderboards, and very close to first place if I get a perfect score here. Obviously, looking at this landscape, it's nothing easy. We can see over on the top right here that we have like kind of a raised trident on the pole, and that one is found in Czechia, Slovakia. You can also see it sometimes in Romania and Albania. So that's the 4 options here. This kind of pleasant landscape with the kind of rolling hills, definitely more typical of Czechia than any of those countries. So that's what I opt for here. And I get kind of more of like kind of a southish vibe here. So that's immediately what I go for. And it was indeed right on the center of the country, but a good guess. And we end up with 24,488, which is just 8 points shy of my best ever game. Obviously that was a full Europe seed there. So kind of an interesting one, and definitely happy, and the chat was suitably pleased with it, which was nice. Anyway, we start off the next seed in a rather iconic location. So we're at the harbour here in Blackpool, and I didn't actually look for any writing here. I just recognized the spot, and the reason I recognize it, comment if you know what I'm talking about, but this is the home of BG Media, you know, Lil T and Soph Aspen and Afghan Dan and all the classic Blackpool grime rappers. So that's how I knew it, because there's like one of the episodes where they go to the pier, and we can actually see the pier in the background there. So, or at least one of them. So there we go. It's quite an iconic British tourist attraction and tourist destination, and yeah, I know where it is, so that's fortunate. And I obviously go on the coast here to lock in a very nice 1.3 kilometer guess, which is 3 points away from a perfect score. So obviously a really nice start there. Next round here, I was like, it's not that easy. But fortunately, and this is very, very faint, so I'm glad I actually managed to read it, but it said Catherine here. And obviously Catherine is probably the 3rd biggest town in the Northern Territory in Australia, so that's very easy to get. I didn't really bother about worrying about like road angle or anything here, because the angle that passes through it does bend, but I didn't really want to like try and work it out. So I just went there, and it ended up being 15 kilometers away. I thought, if it's Catherine, then it should be kind of within like a 30 kilometer radius, which is all we need. So that was good. Definitely another nice one, only dropping 40 points. And then everything gets crazy here, because we get a UAE. So obviously we're praying for small countries from here on in. Guys, let's just say that this seed is quite bonkers. Okay, this one was very nice. Obviously, we got the hills to this side here. It's almost like it's quite dry, but we also have like quite a bit of green going on, so kind of a valley kind of vibe here. I initially click a bit further north, like in the mountains there, and I decided to go a bit further south because you can see there are actually quite a number of like towns here. So clicking further south was definitely a good idea, and it ends up being just 22 kilometers further south there. So we drop a further 60 points, obviously. This, I was like, oof, this is good. At that point, I let out a big, like, woohoo, and yeah, everyone in the chat started knowing what was up. So then I was just kind of psyching myself out, and I load into a beautiful site here. So this one is going to be Taiwan. We know because the double yellow lines plus the Chinese script. If it was Hong Kong, then we would have had the white lines instead. Also, this is a bit more like kind of, you know, it's not necessarily more poor looking, but there's definitely a lot more going on the streets. It's less cleanly. And so I immediately got the vibe as well that this is a bigger city. Like, it had to be one of the 3 biggest cities in Taiwan, for example. And then I immediately just went in for Taipei here. Now, I was also looking at the phone codes there, and as you can see, there is a 2-3. So that was also coming into my consideration here. So I immediately, in the first few seconds here, plonk onto Taipei, look again at the round, see the 2-3, plonk onto the next city over, because I thought 2-3 might be Taoyuan city. But obviously we are very fortunate that it actually landed on this city instead, which is New Taipei. And yeah, we end up with a very stonking 4,984. So guys, if you can keep track at this point, the most points we lost on a round was 60 so far. So this was quite literally bonkers pace. Actually, no, we lost a little bit more maybe on the Northern Territory. Well, no, regardless, I don't think we did actually. Yeah, we basically had only lost like 150 points to this point. If we had a 5K'd the next round, which I'm not saying we could have necessarily, but it's not outside of the realm of possibility, then we would have had the most absurd world record. It would have been very, very hard to beat. And let's see what we saw on the final round here. Obviously, I had to psych myself out a little bit here, so I'll skip forward a few seconds. And very intense moment here. The chat, look at the chat going crazy, man. Okay, so here we go. And we load in to a Bangladesh Generation 3. It is fairly forested here, a lot of palms. Obviously, Bangladesh at the best of times is hard to reach and guess, and I had to plonk for my life here. Because look at this, oh my gosh, guys, I didn't realize how crazy this was. We'd only dropped 120 points. Like, even an average guess here gets us one of the highest scores of all time, but like, oh my goodness, guys, this was a crazy game. And so, let's see where I go. I end up clicking, so basically, there's a meta that I've heard that more east is more forested, more west is less forested. And really, if we're being honest, like the middle part is the least forested part, but yeah, definitely more west is kind of a forested meta. So I click Chittagong. Now, it's a really bad move because Chittagong recently got a whole bunch of Generation 4, meaning like a lot of this Generation 3 here would have been updated. It would have been so much better for me to click anywhere else. I did get the South vibe as well, as you can see. I just wish I clicked somewhere else, guys, because that's just objectively not a good guess these days, because this is, you know, with the red Google card, that's not really found there as nearly as much anymore. And so, let's see where it was. I've kind of spoiled to you that this isn't the best guess, but obviously it is just there in the south instead. So, man, I don't want to say I could have clicked there, because, you know, I could say that for any given round, you know, but it's not outside of the realm of possibility that we snagged the world record there. It's absolutely not. We could, if we clicked like south of Dakar, then we snagged the world record. And you know, even if not, we could have gone on it and just like gotten the most insane world record ever, basically. But there we go. That was a really nice game, regardless. 24-4-4-2, and that is not it. So actually, we start off maybe with an even more insane beginning on the next seed. So let's check out how it happened. Actually, well, this one actually is not the one I was thinking of, but this one is a really nice seed, just a whole bunch of nice guesses. So lock in. Here we have the first round, which is pretty nondescript Russia. It's definitely drier than you'd normally see, and we have like a bunch of like oakish looking trees here. So I am thinking southwest for that reason. I go just down near Crimea here, and it ends up being a fantastic guess, so that's obviously nice. Next one here is one of those pretty free rounds. It's a huge lake, or a huge sea here, and if it's a huge sea, then a good chance with yellow outer lines that you're just going to be on the Dead Sea, and because that is, I'm at least okay at reading my compass these days, and I see it is over to our west, because we're facing south at the moment, so if it's west, then we click in Jordan, which is the only place where you really see it to the west, and we happen to click near the right section there, so that's obviously a fantastic start. Great score. Next one here is just another really impressive guess, if I don't want to, you know, toot my own horn a little bit here. Obviously, the pace is nowhere near what we had in the first seed, but it's still really nice, and this is a hard New Zealand. Like, it's very dry, but the thing that makes me want to go, like, deep South Island here is this very, like, salt and pepper road, almost like a Turkish kind of looking road. The reason, like, it seems to show up a lot in the south of New Zealand, and then there is this particular area around Alexandra where I click. which has a lot of dryness. So I clicked there, and it's basically the next town up. So we actually are only like a matter of like 10-20 kilometers away there, which is obviously really nice. Next round here, and this is where it all goes wrong, because world record is still within our grasps here, and I'll let it play out, because basically I've been working on Iceland a lot. This is a clear Iceland, and I click in this area here, which has a whole bunch of coverage, a whole bunch of the country's coverage is here. Also has quite a few trees as well. And it ends up being in this place. I'm telling you guys, I know a lot of the time I'm a bit guilty of saying, oh, I would have gone there, I would have gone there. But I think, like, on a round like this area and this area are basically only two possible areas. Or maybe something really weird west. But basically it has to be one of those two for my money. Because out here you would have no trees, this stuff looks a bit different. You know, this stuff's definitely different. So, basically, yeah, I kind of lost a 50-50 there. Realistically, probably most times I would click here, but I'd like to think maybe on a different day I would have clicked closer. And the last round was so unfortunate because we have some Malaysia metas coming through here. We had a Malacca sticker here for the state of Malacca in Malaysia, and so I knew where this one was. And, you know, just kind of clicked in the middle of the state, was just downtown, and we get 24,212. Obviously, we dropped 500 points on Iceland there, or at least 400. So, yeah, we would have had basically world record there, I want to say, if we had a 5K on the other one. At least would have been second place if we had have gotten a nice plonk on the Iceland. But another super nice game, and I think you guys are seeing that this world record is by no means impossible. We're playing well. Anyway, last seed here, and this one's a pretty nondescript round. We have a very generic house, very generic trees, bit of redness to the soil, but I don't know, just something about the coverage and the way the mountains look in the background. I definitely got an Eswatini vibe, and on the stream I said, this looks like Manzini. So let's see if it was Manzini. And it was Manzini. I don't know how I knew it was Manzini or why. Obviously, it's a pretty central part of Eswatini, so it's less impressive than had I got something that was right on the outskirts. But still, we got the town there, so that's obviously a cracking start. Let's see what happens on round number 2 here. Well, we are in UAE. We have massive mountains in a number of different directions here. Well, we see a panorama, basically, of massive mountains here to our south, east. And so I get in here, click further north initially, but then kind of figure it doesn't fit quite as well. So I go on this intersection here, and it literally ends up being the right intersection. So even closer than round number 1 there. And at this point, I was like, what is going on here, guys? Yeah, that was obviously a very serendipitous guess there. Next one here, we're back in Eswatini. This was a fantastic start to the seed, and this one does continue well, by the way, so stay tuned. And we click middle here. Didn't really get a strong vibe here, so kind of just middle click made a lot of sense to me. Move a little bit further away, but obviously that's still nice. 44 kilometers away, you cannot sniff at that. We're still on world record pace here, for sure. We're on world record pace. Let's see what happens on the next round, where we're in Australia. And I know it's Victoria based on these kind of like, this kind of, like, what do you call them? Rumble strips inside the white line. It's very typical of Victoria, not to mention this kind of like a pinkish grey sand that you find on the side of the road, and this kind of gravel that's very, very Victorian. Now, this could have been a number of places, so I definitely had the region on lock, but we had to plonk the right kind of road. This is one where if I was faster at reading the compass, I'm sure that could have definitely played into it, but instead I kind of go for the plonk, and look, I plonk on this grey blob here first, and then I kind of switch over a little bit here. And unfortunately, it was the other side of the grey blob. So we actually move about 40 kilometers further. So that would have been maybe 4,800 or 890 or, you know, that kind of region instead of 4,795. So it would have definitely been a whole lot of a nicer score if I had have left my original guess. But obviously, think about that Taiwan before. We got fortunate on that one. This one we don't get fortunate on. That's just the way it goes. And the next one here is definitely Texas. We have like Texas pavement here, which has like all these like white, black chips in it. And then we have like very Mexican looking you know, like foliage here. So this has to be somewhere in kind of rural Texas, not too far from Mexico. I kind of switch a little bit further south here at the last minute, and it ends up being on the Texas logo. So we were very close to getting a much nicer score on this one, with the Australia and the Texas kind of moving away from it, but still a 24,220, also a fantastic score. And it's pretty crazy, I think, that I could get 4 like really world-class games in one stream, where back in the day, I could not get 24k at all. And not to mention that this map is actually harder than ADW. But yeah, guys, that is all to say that this world record will be mine. I promise it will be at some point. I'm probably going to do another stream next week, so stay tuned for that. But guys, that is it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing my explanations and all that bit, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys are chilling, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.